You ever lose an entire afternoon replaying a message in your head? One short text, one clipped email, and suddenly you're writing a novel in your imagination. Each reread adds a new tone, a new insult, a new reason to be tense. It's strange, isn't it? How our minds can turn a period into a full-blown plot twist. Most of the time, we're not reacting to what people said, we're reacting to the story we wrote about what they said. And those stories, they're expensive. They cost peace, sleep, trust, sometimes whole relationships that never needed to break. If you stay with me through this story, you'll learn a simple habit that can stop that spiral before it starts. It's not therapy, it's not theory. It's a way to breathe before you believe. Right now, take a second for yourself. Write this line somewhere, on paper, on your phone, even quietly in the comments. I'm learning to see signals, not stories. That small sentence is a doorway to calm, because once you learn to see facts before feelings, you'll realize how much peace was yours all along, just waiting to be chosen. I nearly burned a bridge with a colleague I respected over a sentence that didn't even have a verb. 2 words. Got it. No greeting, no exclamation point, no emoji sprinkling comfort over the edges, just got it. I read those 2 words 5 times, and each time I added a new layer of attitude. You know the kind. Tone supplied by your own imagination. At first it sounded neutral, then a little cold, then slightly condescending, and by the 5th read, I was hearing, "Got it, genius. Maybe next time you'll send something worth my time." Of course, none of that was in the email. The words were innocent, but I gave them a personality and then carried that made-up attitude like a hot coal for the rest of the day. That's how I learned one of the most freeing lessons of my life. Most of my stress wasn't coming from what people did. It was coming from the stories I told myself about what they did. And when I finally saw that, something in me relaxed, because that meant peace wasn't in their hands anymore. It was in mine. Today, I want to invite you into a practice that has saved me friendships, fixed projects, and brought more calm into my home than any motivational quote ever could. I call it signals, not stories. See the signal, ask the question, leave the motives alone until the facts arrive. Let me show you how this simple shift, this tiny mental redesign, changes everything. We were in the thick of a product launch. 10 people on the thread, 3 time zones, 1 very tight deadline. I sent a clarifying note to the lead on the client side, 2 bullet points, both important, both time sensitive. Then I waited. Morning became afternoon, afternoon became tomorrow, and tomorrow brought only the 2-word reply, "Got it." No comment on the timeline, no answer to the second bullet, just that sentence fragment of the century. And I felt it in my chest, a slow heat rising, the kind that makes your fingers hover over the keyboard like you're about to compose a masterpiece of sarcasm. I started writing back, "Per my last email," deleted it. "Circling back on the items you missed," deleted that too. "Let's take this offline." Nope, gone. Every sentence sounded either too soft or too sharp, because when you don't know the facts, your emotions become your editors, and they publish fast. That night, still annoyed, I opened the thread again and asked myself a question I wish I'd learned to ask years earlier. What is the signal, and what is my story?
Signal. He replied with 2 words. Signal. He didn't address my second question. Signal. 2 days passed between my note and his response. Story. He's ignoring me. Story. He wants me to fail. Story. He doesn't respect the timeline. The first list I could defend. The second list I could only dramatize. So I tried something new, something simple. I wrote 1 sentence. Thanks. Quick check. Is now a good time to continue the thread on the second item? I hit send. Then I took a walk. 20 minutes later, he replied, Apologies. Just got off 2 red eyes. Let's jump on a call this afternoon. And just like that, the thunderstorm I'd created in my head cleared into a blue sky I could have had all along. He hadn't been rude, he'd been airborne. My stress didn't come from his motives, it came from my imagination. I didn't need a better colleague, I needed a better habit. Here's that habit in 1 line. Describe what happened without guessing why it happened. Signals, not stories. Your brain will fight this at first. It hates empty spaces. It fills silence with suspicion and gaps with glue made of worst-case scenarios. That's not evil, that's imagination doing overtime. The mind would rather invent a villain than admit it doesn't know who's behind the mask. But you and I can choose a calmer way. We can train ourselves to stay with what's observable, what we saw, what we heard, what we timed, and then add 1 simple question to invite clarity. The moment you do, peace sneaks in through the side door.
Let's stay with the workplace for a moment, because offices and inboxes, oh, they are the world's largest fiction studios. A meeting ends early. No one says much. Someone closes their laptop without a word, and right there, your brain starts auditioning for a drama. It whispers, "They're angry. I failed. This project's going south." But look closer. What are the actual signals? The meeting ended at 10:17. No action items were assigned. The manager closed her laptop. That's it. Facts. Just the film reel before your imagination added the soundtrack. Now watch what happens when we separate the two. Signals say, the meeting ended at 10:17. No next steps were given. Stories say, she hated my idea. I'm in trouble. They're shutting this down. One path leads to a cue for curiosity. Could we clarify next steps? The other path leads straight into rehearsing apologies for a mistake you haven't even made. Clarity doesn't take time. Confusion does. Every hour we spend living inside a speculation is an hour the truth could have solved. And that's the tragedy of it. We suffer most from the stories we tell in the dark. Now let's step out of the office and into a different room, the one with the people we love. Because families, oh, families are where our stories grow teeth. The stakes are higher, and the memories are longer. The very history that makes home sweet also makes it noisy. I used to start fights before they even began. If dinner was set for 7, and someone walked through the door at 7:20, my mind didn't just notice the clock. It built a courtroom. And in that courtroom, I became the judge, the witness, and the prosecutor. You don't respect my time. That accusation, it's a flamethrower. Nobody wants to talk about dinner after being tried for disrespect. Then I tried something different. I described the signal.
We sat down at 7:20 tonight. Period. Then a question. What could we change next week so it's easier to make 7? That one little shift turns enemies into engineers. People who feel accused defend. People who feel seen collaborate. And the next week, we simply moved dinner to 7:30. We stopped pretending that traffic bends to our wishes. And you know what happened? Peace came back, right there between the salad and the laughter. Here's another one for you. Neighbors and noise. Because walls, my friend, are thinner than feelings. And 10 p.m. can turn saints into lawyers. One summer, the music upstairs kept drifting past the hour we'd all agreed upon at the building meeting. I was tired, tempted to write a note with more heat than light. Version 1, "You're being inconsiderate again. We talked about this." Version 2, "Hey there. It was still loud around 10:40 last night. Could we try to keep it down after 10? We slid version 2 under the door, and the next morning, our neighbor knocked, apologetic, warm, a little embarrassed. "Didn't realize the speaker was near the floor," he said. "We'll move it." The wall stayed thin, but the trust, it got thicker. People rarely get defensive about facts. They get defensive about interpretations. When you describe what happened, you invite understanding. When you declare why it happened, you invite resistance. Let me pause here and give you the simple practice that turns this from philosophy into muscle memory. It fits on a sticky note. I've used it more times than I can count. Step 1. Write the signal. What exactly happened? No adjectives, no guesswork. You didn't reply for 2 days. We started at 7:20. The music was audible at 10:40. Step 2. Add one neutral question. Is now a good time to continue? What could we tweak for next time? Could we stick to the quiet hours we set? Keep it short, keep it kind. The goal is clarity, not courtroom victory. Step 3. Ask within 24 hours. The longer you wait, the louder your imagination gets. Unsent questions rot into resentment. Clarify early. It's cheaper than apologizing later. Try this for a week. Every time you feel your temperature rise, grab a scrap of paper or open your notes app and write one line. Signal, then fill it in. Question, then fill that in. Then send it. That's all. Don't sermonize. Don't stack your case. Just put the fact on the table and invite the other person to add theirs. You'll be amazed how often your calm question opens a door your angry speech would have slammed.
Why does this work so well? Because human beings are meaning makers, fast ones. We are built to complete patterns, to fill blanks, to predict causes. In the wild, guessing fast kept us alive. But in the office and the kitchen, guessing fast keeps us anxious. We judge others by their actions and ourselves by our intentions. He snapped. He's rude. I snapped. I was tired. What if we flipped that? What if we judged ourselves by our actions and others by what might be going on beneath the surface? A rough morning, a crowded day, a weight we cannot see. Because the truth is, most people don't wake up thinking, "Who can I offend today?" They wake up with a list of things to carry: deadlines, children, bills, memories. When we replace stories with signals, we stop adding weight to people who are already heavy laden. We give them something they don't get enough of: the benefit of the doubt. We offer a small but sacred gift: the chance not to defend a motive they never had. Now, let's go back to work for a moment, because this practice shines brightest in places where speed and stress collide. Here's a simple language swap that turns heat into light. "Why are you ignoring my messages?" becomes, "I haven't heard back since Tuesday at 2 p.m. Should I follow up another way?" "You're always late with these deliverables," becomes, "The last 2 reports arrived after the 5 p.m. deadline. How can we set this up for on time next week?" "You changed the plan without telling me," becomes, "I noticed the scope document was updated yesterday. Can you walk me through what shifted?" Same reality, different chemistry. The first set invites a defense. The second invites a path forward. And every time you speak in signals, you pull the conversation out of the storm and back into the sunlight of facts. I once coached a young team lead who was certain another department was stonewalling her. That was her word, stonewalling. So I asked her to pull up the email thread. We counted signals. 10 messages sent, 4 answered. Average reply time, 31 hours. Not instant, but not rejection either. "What story are you telling?" I asked. "That they don't care," she said. "And what question could you ask instead?" She thought for a moment, then typed, "I see our average back and forth is a day or more. Is there a better channel or cadence that would help you reply faster?" They jumped on a 10-minute call. Turns out, the partner team had 2 people covering 12 projects. They agreed to a twice-weekly sync and a shared board for urgent flags. Within a week, the friction dropped by half. Not because anyone changed their hearts, but because they changed their signals. And when you change your signals, the story often rewrites itself. Now, I can almost hear someone asking, "But Dale, what if they really do have bad intentions?" That happens. People act from fear or pride or pain. Signals, not stories, doesn't deny that. It just refuses to accuse before we confirm. Start with a signal and a question. If the answer reveals a pattern of harm, you'll have something solid to stand on. But if the answer reveals a misunderstanding, you'll have saved a friendship that never needed to go to trial. Assume good intent until the data says otherwise. That's not naivete. That's courage. It takes strength to stand in the space between what you felt and what you actually know, and wait for clarity to arrive. Let me give you a 5-minute practice to build that strength every day. At the end of your day, take a sheet of paper and draw 2 columns. On the left, write signals. List 3 things that happened that bothered you, exactly as they happened. No adjectives, no guessing. You didn't reply. The door slammed. The meeting ended without a plan. On the right, write stories. List what you told yourself about those events. They don't care. She's angry. We're failing. Then circle 1 story and write 1 neutral question you could ask tomorrow. Then ask it. That's it. Simple, powerful. This turns midnight anxiety into morning clarity. It replaces rumination with a plan. And over time, you'll notice something beautiful. A quieter mind. Not because people suddenly behave perfectly, but because you stop auditioning for the role of narrator in a drama you wrote alone. I want to share a moment I'm not proud of, because it taught me this lesson more deeply than any book or workshop ever could. I once misread a friend's silence as rejection. He hadn't written back for days, and instead of asking, I started storytelling. I told myself, he's done with me. He's angry. He doesn't care. And I poured those stories into a long message, too long, stacked with interpretations, polished with my injuries. Then I pressed send and waited for the explosion. The reply came the next morning, just one line. I'm at the hospital with my mother. I'll write when I can. I sat there in the quiet and felt very small. My story had been a storm. His signal was a sun at a bedside. That day I learned, our imagination can outshout compassion if we let it. Since then I've tried to pause before I publish pain, to ask one more question than my pride wants to ask. It doesn't make me perfect, it just makes me gentler. Let's get even more practical, because peace grows faster when we have the words ready. Here are some phrases you can borrow anytime your heart starts sprinting ahead of the facts. Quick check. Is now a good time to continue this? I might be missing something. Could you fill me in on what changed? I noticed. What would help us avoid that next time? Would it be helpful to put our expectations in writing? When should I follow up if I don't hear back? And when you need to name a signal without adding heat? We started at 7:20 tonight. It was still noisy around 10:40 yesterday. 2 messages this week. Didn't get a reply. Short, clear, kind. You're not shrinking from truth. You're giving truth room to breathe. Because sometimes the calmest sentence is the most powerful one in the room. A word about tone, because tone is the music of meaning. The same sentence can heal or hurt depending on how you play it. Keep your voice low, keep your sentences short, and whatever you do, don't stack issues from 3 months ago on top of a single moment from today. When you feel tempted to add adjectives like always, never, again, remove them. Watch how your blood pressure falls the moment your words do. Signals are simple, stories are sticky, and clarity is kindness. I often whisper this line to myself when I feel anger tightening its grip. Describe, don't decide. Describe what you saw. Don't decide why it happened. Describe when it occurred. Don't decide what it means about their character. Describe how it affected you. Don't decide their punishment. Then ask one question. It's amazing how far one honest question can carry a heavy moment. Now you might wonder, won't people walk over me if I stay this gentle? But here's the surprise. Clarity doesn't make you weak. It makes you unshakable. When you speak in signals, you become untouchable by drama. You name facts, not faults. You build a record that invites accountability without inviting war. And I've seen this again and again in teams, in families, in friendships. The person who speaks in signals is the one the room trusts most. Not because they never feel, but because they put facts first and let feelings follow. Let's bring this home with 3 small stories. One for work, one for family, one for neighbors. Work. An engineer posts in the team chat, "We're blocked because product changed scope again." Half the room stiffens. Stories start sprinting. The product manager replies with a signal,
The scope document changed on Tuesday at 3:12 p.m. I posted the update at 3:20 and tagged the thread. Looks like the tag didn't fire. My miss. Want to do a 5-minute sync to reset? The temperature drops 10 degrees. A solution appears. The project moves forward. Family. A teenager blows past curfew. Version 1. You don't respect this house. Version 2. You came in at 11:40. Our curfew is 11. What happened? And what should we plan for next time? The first version paints a villain. The second invites the truth. Maybe the truth is hard, but at least you asked for it. You didn't dictate it. Neighbors. The trash sits by the curb 2 days after pickup. Bags torn, wind delivering souvenirs to the whole street. Version 1. You're making a mess again. Version 2. Hey, trash was at the curb through Thursday and a few bags tore. Could we aim to bring bins in the same day pickup happens? The first breeds grudges. The second builds a standard. Same practice, same calm, same surprising warmth. There's a deeper gift hidden inside this way of living. When you choose signals over stories, you start to see people again. Actual people. Flawed, trying, tired, and brave.
The cashier who didn't smile might be on hour 10 of a double shift. The driver who cut you off might be racing toward a phone call they prayed would never come. The colleague who sounded short might be running on fumes after a night with a sick child. You don't have to excuse harm to refuse suspicion. You can hold a boundary with a steady hand and a soft heart. And now we come full circle to that 2-word email that almost hired a bulldozer for a relationship that only needed a broom. I still keep that message in a folder called Lessons. Sometimes I open it just to remind myself how fast my head can turn a breeze into a hurricane. These days, when a short note lands without fluff or frosting, I smile, I breathe, and I ask myself the one small question that has saved me so many big apologies. Am I reacting to a signal or to a story? 9 times out of 10, the answer sets me free. So here's my invitation to you, from one recovering storyteller to another. Tonight, when something annoys you, pause, name what happened, ask one question, send it within a day. Then give the other person a chance to bring their signals to the table. Do this at work, where speed makes us sloppy. Do it at home, where love makes us sensitive. Do it in your neighborhood, where small courtesies write the big story of how we live together. You'll find the world grows quieter when you stop narrating it, and the people in it grow kinder when you stop auditioning them for the role of villain. See signals, ask questions. Let the motives arrive when the facts do. Tomorrow's piece begins with today's curiosity. And today, right now, has room for one calm question.